Welcome to the Ex Good Girl podcast, the place where people pleasers, perfectionists, and overgivers come to unlearn the good girl rules that you thought were making you good, but now you can see are actually just keeping you small. If you've spent your life being unable to say no, putting everyone else's needs and feelings above your own, constantly seeking external approval, or avoiding conflict to make others feel comfortable, if guilt and resentment feel like a constant weight in your life, it is time to learn to knock that shit off. Every episode, we dive into the stories, skills, and strategies that you need to stop shrinking, start speaking up, and to live a life that is authentically and unapologetically yours, while also deepening the connection and vulnerability in the relationships that matter to you. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. All right, Laura Conley, let's dive in. We've been having this conversation, for months now about this particular podcast episode and everything that we want to talk about. Before we do that, first of all, thank you for being here. Second of all, introduce yourself to my people.
All right. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is like a long time coming, like you said. And like now that we're here, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, why didn't we do this before? We're having so much fun. Sarah just came on my podcast too. So my name's Laura Conley, and I'm a weight loss coach for moms. So I help moms lose weight for the last time, all from a place of fun and love. And my underlying mission really is to free the moms. Because I was totally trapped in diet culture and with a effed up relationship with food in my body. And when I had my daughter, I had a really like a wake up call. And I was like, whoa, I'm not passing this down to her. Prior to that, I really had accepted defeat. I thought, oh, this would just be my thing. I'll just yo-yo for the rest of my life. I'll just be half present at meals. I'll be over calculating and then, doing 2-a-days for the rest of my life. It'll just be my thing. And then when I had her, I was like, yeah, over my dead body, am I going to pass this down to her? I'm not having her junior year having calorie counting contest with her friends at the lunch table in the cafeteria, seeing who can eat the least amount. Like that is not happening. So I went on a crazy mission, and like I still kind of can't believe it because I really thought it was like the thing that I couldn't figure out. But like I really did heal my relationship with food and my body, and it's just freaking magic. And so like I have that same sense of conviction now when it comes to other women. I'm like, oh, we have to do this for our daughters for sure, but like for ourselves too. Like that gets to be a good enough reason as well. So yeah,
Totally.
so that's me. I live in Colorado. I have 2 kids, Phoenix and Luna, and I have a husband, Brian, and it's great.
Amazing. I think it's so interesting. So many times when I'm working with a mom, and not all women are mothers and not all women have to be mothers, but there's an interesting motivation that comes up, I think, when you see your own fucked up relationship, either romantic relationship or work relationship or food relationship, and you're like, over my dead body, will I pass this on to my kids? And so I think that's so interesting that was such a source of inspiration for you.
Yeah, well, I think that I thought in that moment, like, I knew I could say all the right things. Like I
Yeah.
knew it. Like I knew so much about food and nutrition and dieting and body image. I knew like the way I was supposed to be, but it wasn't the truth, right? So it's like I knew I could say the right things to her, but I knew that she was gonna be smarter than my sentences that would have inevitably been inauthentic. I knew she'd catch me glancing at my self in the mirror with disgust, or like pulling away from my husband when he inevitably like grabbed my ass in the kitchen, or like whatever. My husband's very affectionate, so I knew she would catch it. Like I knew she would catch it, and I was like, I have to really heal this at the root, or she's smart. Like she's like all kids, right? They're intuitive. They pick up on the energy, not what you're saying. We all know this. So yeah.
So true. So let's just put a couple things up on the map that will be obvious, but they're going to kind of inform our discussion. We have both been raised in a society that tells us that certain bodies look better than other bodies. And that kind of switches. There's a pendulum that, kind of tends to swing. And you've mentioned in conversations we've had before, like the 80s body, right? Do you want to just
Yeah, let's go there.
what were beauty standards then?
Yeah, so I think like growing up in the 80s, 90s, even 2000s, um, like that waif, like kind of heroin chic look was like the look. Sorry. I'm
Totally
like,
true.
we're gonna get like an explicit warning on this podcast. Anyways, like like the Kate Moss look, like the
Yes.
thinner the better. Like that's the messaging at least that I got. I don't know about your listeners or you, but that's the message I got. The thinner the better. The bar is impossible to hit. Like keep going until you like possibly can't stand it anymore. So that
Yeah.
was yeah.
I think she's the one who said nothing tastes as good as being thin feels.
Yeah, which is like super effed. So like don't get me
Oh,
started on that. Yes. So it's true. I mean, I don't know how many times that quote was probably on my fridge. Like honestly, like along with like supermodel bodies on my fridge. Like don't go in the fridge. Like starve yourself thin. That is good. That is right. That will earn you your worth, like your good enoughness, really. That's what it came down to. And it was seeped into like seeped or steeped, I don't know the word, but it was in every area. It was like winning the affection of boys in high school. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep. It was steeped or seeped or whatever the word is in that career. I was a yoga teacher. It was in that career. It was left and right. You had to look like this to be good
yeah.
enough, to be the best, whatever. It's some interpretation of that.
One of the things that I share sometimes is that I actually started coaching as a weight loss coach.
I think I
And
remember.
it was really just a sneaky attempt to make myself lose weight because I was like, listen, nobody,
Oh,
right? Nobody
so
will
good.
hire a chubby weight loss coach. So girl, you've got to lose weight. You
Yeah,
have to do it.
I'll
And
force myself into
I'll
it. Yeah.
force myself into it. And
I did
it
that
was
with teaching yoga. I was like, I know, I'll quit corporate America and then I can work out like 4 times a day. This will be perfect.
and just be a yoga teacher. Yeah.
Oh,
And then my body will look and feel better. And what we both know now, right, is that there is not a number on the scale that will give you the worth and value you are looking for.
yeah.
And for so many women, that is such a, a tricky thing to learn. Most of the women that I talk to, they are using food to self-medicate because they're stuck in people pleasing. They're resentful as hell. They're frustrated. They're fearful. They're guilty and full of dread and obligation.
Mm,
And eating something good feels really good to them.
yeah. Totally. It's like the only hit in the day. It's like the
Yeah.
only thing that they get that's for them and them only, right? It's like the reward they're desperate for, or the comfort they're desperate for, the pleasure they're not getting from their relationships or whatever. And so I'm always like, don't make yourself bad or wrong for
Right.
eating. For like emotional eating is like not bad or wrong. It's just, is it serving you? Like that's always the question. Like my husband totally eats for emotional reasons, like here and there, like randomly. Like I'll totally see him like pigging out on like a bag of chips. But like my husband weighs what he wants. He feels great in his body. He's totally healthy. And so like it's like just not a problem for him. It's like whatever. Like eat your chips, dude. Like have fun. And it's not a problem for him. So that's like what your audience might want to ask. Like, okay, I am feeling so resentful, so enraged, so like empty. And so and some of your clients or your audience might not even know that they're doing it. Like when I was eating for emotional reasons, I actually didn't make the connection. It wasn't until I went down this road of like I have to heal this that I figured out I was like a pretty big emotional eater. Um, and so don't make yourself bad or wrong if you do notice that you're eating for emotional reasons. Just like if you can use it as like, oh my God, this is actually good news that I'm learning about this because then I can decide if I want to do something about it or not. You can decide it. Is this a problem for you or not? And from there, we can solve for it. And for me, when I was like, oh, I'm an emotional eater, like it was actually really cool because it gave me the opportunity to like really learn how to feel and really learn how to take care of myself. I was taking decent care of myself, but I really needed a little bit more comfort and a little bit more pleasure in my life. And so it was like the check engine light. I was like, oh, I need to give myself true comfort, true pleasure, true I mean, it was really comfort, and most of it for me was like pleasure. And like, so if that's true, then how can I give that to myself? And that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients. It's like, how can we create true pleasure? How can we create true comfort, true stress relief, true whatever it is that we are seeking in the pantry that's not actually there? And I'll give it to you. It is there momentarily. Like we were talking about earlier, like the brownie actually does feel really good. It is very pleasurable in that moment, and it kind of does work. There is a whole physiological thing to it too we could go into, but it does work momentarily. And then you just get to weigh, like, is this a net negative? Is this a net neutral? Is this a net positive? And from there you just get to decide and bring more choice back into your life in terms of like, do I want to keep doing this?
The two things that I think you and I really agree on and want our clients to have is choice and then connection, like self
Yes.
connection. We have had a conversation on and off that I think is so interesting because we go from like the waif thin, Kate Mosses of the 80s and 90s. And then we start heading into, 2000, I don't know exactly, but this whole body positivity movement comes up,
Hmm.
which in so many ways, I think the point is to be inclusive of bodies of all types and size and ability. And you look at that and you think, what could be bad about that? But I think you and I have had, I think, what is an interesting discussion about some of the places where that body positivity movement also might not be serving us.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, I have personal experience with this in my clients too. Like, I interpreted the body positivity movement incorrectly. Like, I'll take responsibility for it,
Mm.
but maybe the body positivity movement isn't doing a good job with their messaging and they need new marketing people. I don't know. But what I think happened is we had this effed up diet culture, and then the body positivity movement, totally well intentioned, swung all the way to the other end of the pendulum. And for me, the way I interpreted it was like, okay, I'm supposed to love my body at any size and accept my body at any size. And I think that is correct. Like, I do think actually, if you do want to get healthy or you want to achieve anything with your wellness or you want to lose weight, I actually think it's great to do it from a place of love. And just because you want to change your body or your health or whatever doesn't mean you don't love it. And we can go into that too. But I found myself as a yoga teacher not weighing what I wanted. I didn't feel good in my body, but I made myself wrong and bad for not feeling good in my body because I was supposed to feel good in my body because I'm supposed to be positive about my body because I'm supposed to be positive about my body at any size or the way it looks. But like energetically, um, I didn't feel right, and I was ignoring that truth. Like there was something inside of me that was like, this isn't us. This isn't you. And I just kept stuffing it down, stuffing it down. And nope, I'm supposed to love it. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm supposed to be evolved. On one hand, I'm supposed to be a yoga teacher and be a fucking waif. Sorry, freaking waif. And then on the other hand, I'm supposed to also love and accept. And I didn't really understand what true love was and true acceptance was in that moment. The other ironic thing was what I was doing that caused the extra weight to be on my body wasn't loving. So what I was doing was eating to avoid, to escape. And to me, that's not an act of love. An act of love is kind of what we are talking about earlier. Like, oh, like if you're not hungry, food isn't the solution. Like hands on your heart. What's going on? What's going on here? Like, what am I really looking for here? And like that's true love. That's true self-care. And so when I finally let myself admit, like I actually don't feel good in this body, it was like it was like truth. It was like truth serum. But for me, the body positivity movement, I misinterpreted it and then made myself bad and wrong. And then there was more shame because not only do I not like the way that I look and feel, I'm not allowed to not like the way that I look and feel. That's bad and wrong too. I was like, where do I even go with this? So
I want to just kind of reframe what you said a little, and not even reframe, just kind of put some different words around it.
please.
Where the body positivity movement can go wrong is if it's just another source outside of you telling what is right or good, what is bad, what you get to believe, what you don't get to believe.
So
It's
well
just
said.
another outside source. And so if you are looking outside of you at, the social and cultural landscape, trying to decide what should I do? What should I believe? And you are missing the inside connection to it. Like that's what I heard in your story.
Yeah.
When you got connected to yourself
Yes.
and it felt safe to really ask yourself, but what do I want for me? It
Yeah.
was to stop using food to distract and escape,
Yeah.
to get real pleasure, real comfort in your life.
Mm.
And the weight part of it was something that for you weren't comfortable with the amount of weight on your body from
Yeah.
a self-connected place.
Totally. Totally. Oh, that's so well said. And that's what I always say. We were talking about before we hit record. I always say, like, I don't have a prescription for my clients. Some of my clients are really bummed. They're like, just tell me what to eat and not to eat. And I'm like, what we're really going to do is figure out what you want. Like, that's what I'm going to do is help you figure out what you want. There's no right or wrong, bad or good. And then we're going to go get it. And there's really that, I mean, that's pretty much it. And I think that's what
It,
you do too.
it's so true. And this is why I really think coaching can be revolutionary, because we are so disconnected from our bodies. And there's a lot of good reasons for that, right? Um, we
Mm,
are so disconnected that the reconnecting to
mm.
who am I? What do I want? What do I want to do with my time, energy, and effort? How do I want to be in the world? That is a fucking revolution for women when they feel their inner sovereignty and power and their presence with themselves. And it's everything from what do I want to say yes and no to? Who do I want to have relationships with? What do I want to put on my body and in my body? It is just such a revolution, and it can change from time to time.
Totally. Yeah, I we were just talking about this inside my program yesterday because I have a client, she's like, one of my true pleasures is like lifting weights. So I'm going to decide on purpose to like gain X amount of pounds of muscle. And I'm like, yes, exactly, because that's what you want right now. And you can make a new choice in 10 years. You had a different choice 2 years ago, right? Like,
Right.
and that's power. And
Yes.
that's power. Some women don't love the word power, whatever. Power, empowering, whatever you want to call it. It's very, very
Right. It's
empowering.
choice.
Yeah,
It's
choice.
choice.
It is. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. And I think it's revolutionary too to even just be asking the question of what do I want? Like, because we haven't been given that permission. So many of us, I'm like, how many of us are walking around and we don't even know what we want? I've been thinking a lot about that with the holidays. Like we're so, what do my kids want? What does my husband want? What does my partner want? What does my blah, blah, blah want? It's like, what do you want? Like, what if you could give that gift to yourself? Just asking the
Yeah.
question.
Let me give you an example of what I mean, when things can change. There is a whole body of research out there around the health at any size, medical point of view. And your own health is a combination of like what we know is good and bad for bodies, like a certain blood sugar A1C, cholesterol numbers. And some of that is changing all the time. I'll say that right now. And I'm not a doctor. Lara, are you a doctor?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Okay. All right. So we're not doctors, but there is a whole body of evidence out there that it is not a number on the scale that determines your health, right?
Exactly.
Now, from a scale, and we also know, I just have to say this, that the whole what you should weigh, what do they call that?
Oh, like your BMI?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's totally
Oh,
fucked
it's
up.
total BS. Yeah.
It's total BS. It's based on patriarchy, shocker. And it's not something that, which is again just why self-connection
Yes.
matters so much. Now,
Yeah.
we've had a recent, diagnosis in my family, not of me, of one of my um, close blood relatives who now has Parkinson's disease. And so
Mm.
when I started researching Parkinson's disease, and this is like
Mm.
the second such diagnosis in my family, I learned a lot about inflammation
Yep.
and gut health. And suddenly I find myself very motivated to not eat as much sugar as I
Mm.
have been eating, because it's one of the things that contributes to a lot of
Yeah.
systemic bodily inflammation. And so in 2 weeks ago, I was fine having brownies.
Yeah.
Now, because of this new information in my family and the possibility that that might come into play for me as well, I have different motivation. And so
Mm.
I bring that up because it matters what you want. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that matters. And the self connection that you have to be able to really know what you want is the key ingredient here.
Yeah. And your why, like what you're explaining right now, like having a really awesome, well, a couple or several, many, whatever,
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
whys. Yeah, I think that's really super important too. Because if you don't have a why, then yeah, good luck.
So when you are working with clients, how do you help them connect to themselves and figure out what they want? Like, what is your process for that?
Hmm. Okay, so one thing that I kind of wanted to bring up that's now coming up, so it's kismet, was there was like the body positivity movement, but then there was the intuitive eating movement that got really awesome, and people are got really popular, I should say, and some of us misinterpreted what they were teaching as well, and the misinterpretation I got was like, oh, I'm just going to listen to my intuition and I'm going to eat what my intuition wants me to eat. Now, my lower brain disguised itself as my intuition. And my lower brain was like, we deserve brownies. We deserve cookies and ice cream and pasta. And so when I tried intuitive eating, I was like, this is great. I'm eating intuitively. This is amazing. But again, there was that little underlying lie. You don't feel good. This isn't right. Something's off, right?
Yeah.
And so what I realized is that I can't actually hear my intuition when my hunger hormones are imbalanced. So I teach women how to balance their hunger hormones so that they can choose. Because I think it's really hard, borderline impossible, to hear your intuition, to hear your hunger cues, to hear your body cues when you are hormonally hungry, when you're hangry. That's like kind of the term I like to use for hormonally hungry. So um, when my people come into my program, when the yummy mummies come in, what we do first and foremost is we do pick a plan, and people can have some thoughts about a plan because their brains can interpret that as a diet, and diets are bad. Diets aren't inherently bad, but I understand why sometimes the word plan can be triggering because, and this goes back to the pendulum. We think, and our friends will preach this to us all the time. Like, I should be able to eat whatever I want whenever I want. And it's like, you can totally eat whatever you want whenever you want. Again, is it serving you? So for me, I was always on one end of the spectrum or the other. I was always either over restricting or under restricting. Under restricting, I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Over restricting, I was like on a green juice cleanse and like starving myself Monday through Thursday, only to end with like a pizza to the face and a bottle of wine or whatever the thing was, right? And so for me, what's been really helpful, and this is what I teach my clients to explore, and then they get to decide, is like maybe healthy, happy restriction could apply when it comes to our health. Like if you want to lower the chances that you get Parkinson's, not having sugar might be helpful for you, right? And so that is going to take some healthy, happy restriction to get what you want. And I always ask my clients to think about every other area of their life. Like, think of your marriage, or think of your parenting, or think of your career, whatever. You are applying some healthy restriction in those areas to get what you want, right? I have the marriage I have, which is a great marriage, because I apply healthy restriction. Like, because I don't go make out with boys at bars on a Thursday night with my girlfriends. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm also not joking. Like, it takes some restriction. I have to bite my tongue. I'm snappy and fiery and spicy, and I bite my tongue in my marriage. Not as much anymore because I've practiced for so long, but it's been a practice of me and of mine. And that gets me a result that I want, because inevitably, if I don't, I will regret what I say. Same with parenting, because I'm a little snappy. I don't want to yell at my kids. That's not in alignment with my values. And so I have to apply healthy restriction. Same with when I'm driving. Same with like when somebody sends me a curt email. Like, same with talking to the Colorado State Department of Revenue yesterday. Like, I am applying healthy restriction in all areas of my life all the time so I can get the result that I want. And somewhere along the way, we got this thought or this belief that you should be able to eat whatever you want whenever you want. And you can. You have permission to do that. But what if we tried another way in the name of your future self and what she wants, whether that's lowering your risk for Parkinson's and chronic inflammation diseases like metabolic disease, cancers, all kinds of things, right? There's so many out there. So, and that's where my clients get back to their why. Because it's not about just losing weight. I don't give a flying fuck about losing weight. I care about why you want to lose weight. Is it because you want to be present with your kids at dinner and you don't want to be calculating your Weight Watchers points or tracking your macros? Is it because you want to say yes easily and freely when your kid asks you to go down the water slide at the pool? Like, I'm like on this whole kick about being a fun mom. It's like, I want all my moms to be fun moms if they want to be fun moms. And my like point around that's usually what is on my clients' compelling reasons. There's like little ways that they just really live a big life. And so they come in, they do pick a plan. There is healthy restriction on that plan, and they get to pick from a whole platter. There's a bunch of different things on that platter that they can pick from. They could pick one thing, they could pick four things, and then they go to work on that plan. And the point of that plan is to balance their hunger hormones, because when your hunger hormones are balanced, it's so much easier to lose weight or to be healthier, to get your compelling reasons, because you're not hungry all the time. Like, every other time I lost weight, before I lost weight for the last time, I was starving. I'll never forget like losing weight for the last time, and I would be like afraid to get on the scale because I'd be like, oh my God, I like actually ate 3 full meals yesterday. There's no way I'm gonna lose weight. And then I would just like lose weight every day because I was eating food that really served my body and balanced my hunger hormones. So my body was able to release that weight and I wasn't hungry. I was so satisfied. So this is like a long way of answering your question of like, how do we keep the choice there? It's like they get this big platter and then they get to test and retest things. And when we are eating in a way where our hunger hormones come into balance, we can actually start to hear our hunger cues. So I do have clients that like are really, I would say, are on very, very, very loose plans, quote unquote, because they can hear their cues, because they're not riding a blood sugar roller coaster all day. So for me, like, I would eat a lot of times when I was hangry or hormonally hungry because I would eat something that had processed sugar. I would get a big spike in my blood sugar or my hunger hormones, and then I get a big crash. I would be like a psycho and like rip my husband's head off his body and then like be eating all of his snacks, right? And so that didn't serve me for many different reasons. But now I can actually hear my hunger cues and it's really not even your intuition, it's really your hunger cues. But if you want to talk intuitive eating. So that's how I help my clients have choice. And I feel like our choice is a bit stolen when, like, this is a little bit bold, but we can cut it if we need to. But I do feel like our choice is a little bit stolen when we are eating processed foods. A lot of these processed foods are coming from big food. And big food has a lot they have a lot of stake in what we eat. Like they spend billions of dollars of like testing food and the way that it crunches in your mouth, right? And the way it lights up your brain. So this is a little extreme, but like I do feel like some of us are victims to big food. And so to take your power back and then decide, because a lot of us are addicted to some of those foods and it's we don't have real choice. It's like cigarettes at this point. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but I do feel strongly that we move towards more whole foods. And this doesn't mean getting rid of your favorite things. Like I still love pizza. I had pizza last night, right? I still love pizza. I still love wine. I still love creme brulee, and I still eat those things. It's just in a way that serves me so that I can have everything that I want. And that's another thing that I've had to like really come to grips with is like, I want it all. Like I really want it all. And like I just I have to have it all. And this is the closest thing. This is the way that I've figured out how to do it. And I think that's choice and freedom.
I do too. And I want to go back for just a second to what you said about, because I actually wrote this down. Like one of the things that I want to acknowledge is that we live in systems, right? And one of the systems that we live in is what you just called big food, right? Where there are billions of dollars dedicated to finding the exact combination of chemicals and sugar and fat and salt, the crunch, the texture that are meant to light up those addictive centers of our brain. And the fact that a lot of times that ultra processed food is cheaper than fruits and vegetables. And so finding our source of choice, finding our self-connection, I don't think we can ever lose sight of the fact that we exist in these systems, and it's the systems that deserve the blame, not the individual people.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Like, and that's where I'm always like, yeah, take radical responsibility of your life and change it, but it's not your fault. Like it is exactly not your fault. Like you are not to blame. You are not wrong or bad. We really are victims of the system.
Is there anything that you haven't gotten to say that you would love to get in here right as we wrap up?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about how you provide this choice and self-connection for your clients? I love you. Your infectiousness, the way you just make everything fun and joyful is one of my favorite things about you. And I know you do that for your clients as well. If people want to find you, where can they do that?
Yeah, you guys can go to lauraconley.com/plan. So you guys will get a free plan for how to weigh what you want. If you want to, we usually charge for it, but go to lauraconley.com. So it's my little gift for your audience, lauraconley.com/plan. My name is LauraConley, in case you need to know how to spell that, because you can spell Conley like 17 different ways. I also have a podcast, which Sarah is on, so you guys should check that out. That's called Lose Weight for the Last Time with Laura Conley, and you can follow me on Instagram at Laura Conley Coaching. And then obviously my website is lauraconley.com. You guys could book a call with me, whatever. Just come find me and make friends with me.
I'll make sure that we have the link in the show notes to that. And thank you so much, Laura Conley, for this conversation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. It was so good. I mean, I learned from you. I love this. So good.
Hey, thanks for listening. If this podcast has been helpful to you, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a 5-star rating in whatever platform you listen to your podcasts. And if you go to my website, sarahfisk.coach, you can sign up there to receive my emails. Right now, I'm taking private one-to-one clients who want my help speeding up this work in their own lives. I really hope to provide a lot of free information on my website and in my podcast for people to do this work on their own. But if you're interested in having a coach like me to help you implement these things faster, to find the blind spots and obstacles that you're not aware of, go to my website and sign up for a consult. That's a time when you and I can get on Zoom and talk about the particulars of your situation, and I can show you how I could be helpful. The second thing you can do on my website is sign up for a freebie that I have called Difficult Conversations. having a conversation that seems like it's going to be hard or difficult is one of the things that people pleasers struggle with. And so I've created a whole guide for you to be able to do that with some more confidence. That will also get you signed up for information about my group program, Stop People Pleasing. It's a group coaching program where you join a community of women just like you who are struggling to overcome perfectionating and people pleasing, and we do it together in a group. It's a really amazing opportunity to not just learn from your own experience, but just to see how similar you are to so many other women out there. The healing and the challenging and the laughing and the growth that happens in that beautiful community of women is really amazing. And if it's interesting to you, I would love for you to know about it.